You see what I'm saying here? Oh my god, you're very creative. Yes, I'm very creative. I know what I'm doing. Hence why I want to plan out my story like crazy. I'm gonna have me and VJ type out some ideas we have for the movie too. You see? For the Land of Cyrus. Remember that picture I showed you? Remember that picture I showed you, right? In my in my you guys can see what I'm saying. Remember that picture I showed you of Cyrus? You had this like you had that picture. I'm thinking of something like that for Cyrus. So something like the Shire, but it's a more advanced world. Think of something like that. You guys can see what I'm saying. That picture I showed you with the mossy hill, whatever it is. Think of something like that for Cyrus, yeah. And you have animals in there, yeah. That's what I'm thinking for Cyrus, obviously. For Saphis, I'm thinking of something like Gondor, except make it original, obviously. For the South being cursed, I'm thinking of a gray sky, a grayish sky, obviously, but the atmosphere is cursed. It's tainted. So you have this tainted atmosphere that's cursed. You see what I'm saying? Like a tainted atmosphere that's cursed, obviously. Remember Passion of the Christ at the beginning when Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane? You have that tainted atmosphere in the garden. Think of something like that for the South being cursed. So you have, the sky is like grayish. You have this grayish sky, and then the atmosphere is cursed. It's a little cursed, obviously. I'm thinking of something like that for the South. Whereas the North, I'm thinking something like Rivendell. It's beautiful and holy. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, okay, Peter. I'm thinking of something like Rivendell for the North, except make it original. It's holy. It's holy terrain. It's holy land. You know what I'm saying? Whereas the South has a grayish sky and it has a tainted atmosphere and it's cursed. For Barack, I'm thinking something like, remember when Saruman was walking in Isengard, you saw the orcs forging all the weapons. It was pretty freaky, obviously, and they were digging and they dig the boss orc out of the ground. You got that atmosphere. Think of something like that for Barack. It's like that's where all the demon wolves live. Yeah, you look at something like that for my movie. Yeah, hence we're looking at the best story told. Imagine 25,000 wolf army, and you have the demon children, wolves and men living in Barack, and you have something like that Saruman scene when they dig out the boss, or think of something like that, except 4 times scary than that. They're demons. Aratet lives in his pavilion in his tent. You look at something crazy. Yeah, man, look at an amazing movie, man. I'm actually hiring like 25,000 extras and like 10,000 civilians for the Barack for Barack. Yeah, man. And that's why Peter Jackson will be shocked. When I tell Peter Jackson I'm putting $390 million towards special effects, he's going to be shocked. Like, holy shit, that's a lot of money. This is unheard of. You're looking at a revolution in technology for Zanes, for the world building. You know what I'm saying? World building 3 times better than Lord of the Rings. Action scenes are 3 times better than Lord of the Rings. Think of that. And the wolves are demons. You're looking at unheard of revolutionization of horror, man. Something crazy. That's why I'm going to keep saying it. That's why none of my 5 movies will top Zanus. Zanus will be the best movie out of my 5 movies. None of my 5 movies will top that movie, man. Yeah. For the ancient Gilead, imagine the cursed Western Gilead Mountains. I'm thinking of, remember that picture I showed you in my purchasing rights video? Remember that? And when you saw the mossy trees on the side, think of something like that for the cursed Western Gilead Mountains, where you have the big mosquitoes the size of your hand. Imagine having big mosquitoes the size of your hand biting. Remember King Kong? Remember King Kong when you had those big ass insects, slugs? Well, picture big mosquitoes, like cursed mosquitoes like that, and they're biting the people. Mosquitoes the size of your hand, and they're biting the people in the cursed Gilead Mountains, man. Because the mountain's cursed, yeah. And you have the big jaguars, yeah. And Tacius and them have to fight them. So once you go past through the ancient Gilead city, the ancient Gilead mountains, the Gilead's cursed mountains, the Western Gilead's cursed mountains, you have the big mosquitoes biting the 5,000 civilians. Think someone like Prince of Egypt. So I'm going to tell Peter Jackson, okay, I'm thinking for when the 5,000 Safian civilians journey through the Western Gilead mountains, I'm thinking something like Prince of Egypt. They all have torches. They're all anxious of what's going to happen next. They're all scared, and you have big mosquitoes biting all the people, obviously. And you have the big jaguars attacking them out to fight them, and they enter through the cursed Western Gilead caves, the ancient Gilead cities like Moria, except better quality more. So I'm thinking something like Moria with pillars, except it has it's a cave. It's a cavern. It has a cave appearance, but there's a city inside the cave. And you have many rooms, and there's three main rooms that stand out, obviously. And Ephesus is in one of those rooms, and he's sleeping in one of those rooms. You have another room where Papyri goes into the other room, and you have like a big stone table with skeletons on the ground, obviously. And you have another room on the right where Cassius journeys into another room. And there's bats sleeping in that room too, yeah, and it's dark and it's creepy, yeah, it looks crazy. There's something 3 times scarier than what you got for Lord of the Rings and Moria, man. Demon bats, man, it looks crazy. That's why Peter Jackson, but yeah, I read your book. If you would put a lot of money into it, and you put a lot of money into it for the extras, the set building, and the CGI technology, it'll be even better than my movie. Yeah, it'll be better than Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. Not much better. Lord of the Rings will be close, obviously. It's very tough to top that series. But Zayn's will be a better movie than Lord of the Rings, guaranteed. Because I'm acting in, and I put 100 amount of money into it for world building, the horror, and the actions, as well as what. Zayn's is a better story than Lord of the Rings. It's a better written story than Lord of the Rings. That's why Peter Jackson will be having a blast. Because we're doing the concept arts, which is a lot of work, obviously. We're just sitting down and talking, and the doc team's constantly filming us. And so we're in a movie, and then, I don't know, 3 months later, 3 months later, I'll have the doc team release the first teaser trailer, a good like a minute and a half teaser trailer. You're gonna see me, Peter Jackson, and my wife working, me and my wife at our house, Peter Jackson's in his hotel. Peter Jackson was like, oh my god, I can't wait to watch this documentary. You see the unheard of technology for the doc in these top camera, top notch quality, yeah, man. That's why Peter Jackson will be living the life, man. Obviously. But going back to the CEOs and the game division and magazines, high chance that will not happen. As me and Vijay are just gonna sit the sky source and make movies. That's enough. More than enough money. I just thought I should throw it out there. But me, 10% chance that's not of that happening. As me and Vijay are not gonna go into all that crazy stuff. As the money I'm making for the movies and posters and mugs is more than enough. I'm not into that crazy stuff. You see what I'm saying here? I'm not into that crazy stuff. Hence why the documentary for Zanus will be the best documentary out of all my documentaries. Because we're going to be building the world of the north to south. We're building the ancient Gilead city like Moria. The cursed western Gilead mountains, where Ephesus lives. Ephesus is territory, right? Cyrus, Sapphires, the Blood Valley, the marshlands, the river of Tinus, the forest of Galathea, the Valley of the Dark Valley, obviously. Remember that Dark Valley? Yeah, the Dark Valley. A cursed Dark Valley where you feel the evil of the darkness. Then you have Barak, something like Isengard, with a bunch of pavilions and tents where the demon wolves live. The ancient Gilead sphere where the demon bats live. You have the cursed ancestors of the south. Think something like the Ring Race, the Witch King of Agma, except they're cursed, they're wolves and bats. The devil wolves and bats. Yeah, you're looking at something crazy, man. In the sky, right? I don't want to spoil the story for you. The holy ancestors of the north. Think something like Gandalf the White with his white robe and white hair. Think something like that for the holy ancestors of the north. Yeah, look at an amazing movie, man. Aratat spies, the demon crows. So imagine demon crows who are Aratat spies. You also have the wild ravens in that roam around the Blood Valley. The wild ravens, wild crows, and you have the what? The cursed stags. Obviously, those wild ravens and crows can kill people. Yeah, you'll see what I mean when you read the book, obviously. You have Zanus, the Great Wall of Zanus. Think something like Helm's Deep, except a bigger wall than that, obviously. And you have Zanus, which is think something like Rivendell, a holy land. The north is holy, obviously. See what I'm saying here? Yeah, man. The northern Gilead Mountains in Zanus, which is not cursed, it's beautiful. The stags there are all beautiful, obviously, whereas the one in the south is cursed. That's Ephesus territory. So Aratat is the king of the south. It is his territory, obviously. But the moment you cross through the mountains, that is now Ephesus territory. Ephesus is the king bat of that region. Ephesus is the king bat of the mountains, the cursed western Gilead. That way you're not confused. Aratat is the king of the south. But the moment you journey through the western Gilead Mountains, the huge western Gilead Mountains, towards that area, that is Ephesus territory. That is his territory. He's the king of the mountains. See what I'm saying? Remember in Return of the King when they journeyed through the when Aragorn and them journeyed through the city of the dead? Obviously, remember how you had that. Think something like that for Ephesus territory. He's the king, but he's the king bat of the mountains. And Aratat and Ephesus hate the humans. I won't tell you why they hate humans, but they have a huge hatred for the humans. And that's why we're looking at the best story ever told, man. That's why me and Peter Jackson are going to have a blast writing that script. Even Peter Jackson, yeah, even though it's a lot of work writing the script, I'm having a blast because the doc team's filming us. We're having a blast. We only work on the script like 3 hours a day. There'll be sometimes when we work on a script a little longer, obviously like 10 o'clock at night. We're going to have a blast writing that script. In the afternoon, we do the concept arts. John Howell Allen Lee, the one who drew for... I want the concept artist who drew for Pennywise the Clown to draw Aratat and the Wolves. And John Howell Allen Lee will do the world building. And I also have the other guy do the world building too. And I'll have John Howell draw the boss orc and draw the Ephesus and the bats too. Because John Howell, I believe, drew the concept arts for the orcs too. In Lord of the Rings, I believe him and Alan Lee drew that. I want them drawing the bats too. Okay, you guys draw the world building and the bats. The other guy will draw the wolves, and I'll also help you guys out with the world building. And me and Peter Jackson, assistant director, my wife, and two script will tell them our ideas, and they draw. Draw a bunch of pictures. They hang it up, and we tell them which pictures we like, and which pictures we don't like, obviously. That's why we're gonna have a blast doing the concept arts. Concept arts will be the most fun out of all the work the first year. Because we're going to see how horrific we're going to see the world building. We're going to see the lands. The crows, too. They also have to draw the crows. What do you want the crows to look like? What do you want the eagles to look like? You also have the crows and eagles. The cursed demon ants of the south. What do you want them to look like? You know what I'm saying? What do you want the north, the cursed, the holy ants of the north to look like? You have to draw all that. Yeah, man. It looks like top notch. That's why Peter Jackson will have a blast working on my movie, man. You're gonna see how happy he is working on my movie. He's gonna have a blast. He's gonna have a blast working on my movie, Peter Jackson, or Mel Gibson, right? You're gonna have a blast. And I paid Peter Jackson a $10 million bonus, which is a lot of money. A lot of money. Paid him a lot of money. $10 million for pre-production is a nice paycheck, man. And so he'll work really, really hard for me. Yeah, you're gonna see how hard Peter Jackson works for me, or Mel Gibson, right? You're gonna see how hard they're gonna work for me, man. How hard Peter Jackson's gonna work for me. You're going to see him, okay, Ivan, you should do this. You should do that. You know what I'm saying? Change this in your book. Change that in your book. And I'm saying, yeah. You see what I'm saying here? Yeah. For example, for the characters, I might have the actor for Tacitonius have a beard in the movie. He has like a big beard in the movie. When he's older, obviously, right? I might have the actor for Tacitonius I might have him look a bit. Hey, I might have the makeup artists and hair designers have him look a little bit older. Because Tacitonius is like 2.5 years, 3 years older than Tactius, obviously. So John Boyega, I'll have him look a little bit older in the movie. I'll have him look a little bit older than me in the movie. He'll have his like beard. Because Tacitonius is like 33 years old in the movie. Whereas Tactius is only 30 years old. Tacitonius is like 32.5 years old in the book, and Tactius is 30 years old. He's older than Tactius, hence why I'm going to have them make Tacitonius look a bit older in the movie, obviously. You see what I'm saying here? Because Tacitonius is Tactius' cousin in the book, obviously, when you read it. And Cassius is like a couple decades older than the two of them, and so he'll be what for the what for the young Tactius chapter when Tactius is born. I'll have Cassius and Maramis and Queen Sarah. They wear their CGI technology that makes them look younger, obviously. So Cassius and Maramis are like in their 30s when Tactius is born, when Tactius is a kid, obviously. And then then it transfers like 22 years later and they're in their like 50s. They're a lot older. Obviously, and you have to put CGI technology to make them look younger for the young Tactius scenes, obviously, as well as when Tactius is born. When Tactius the first story, obviously. Because Cassius and Maris and Queen Sarah are in the Tactius the first story, and they're also in the young Tactius story when Tactius is 8 years old, and Tacitonius is like 11 years old, obviously. And they're training in the Xenian arts with Maramis and Cassius. So Maramis and Cassius train the army, the kids in the army, obviously, and they also train Tactius and Cassius, Tactius and Tacitonius as kids. As you're looking at me. So you have the story starts off with Tactius is born, obviously, and you have the story of Tactius the First, obviously. You have the war scene with Aerith. I don't want to spoil the story for you, obviously. And it transfers 8 years later when Tactius is a kid. Obviously, you know what I'm saying? He's never been outside the walls, obviously. I don't want to spoil the story for you. He's training with Tacitonius. So you have their story, obviously. And after that, it transferred 22 years later, and Tactius is 30 years old. And Tacitonius is like 32, 33 years old. And Tactius ends up breaking the law, and he ends up leaving the walls. And that's the beginning. And then Tacitonius and Cassius and 50 of his men go and look for him. And that's the beginning of it. That's when the journey kicks off. That's where we're looking at an amazing story. So Tactius ends up breaking the law, and he ends up leaving the walls. That's where we're looking at an amazing story, man. I wrote a masterpiece, man. And then when he leaves the walls, that's when Tactius leaves the walls, towards the later half of Volume 1, that's when he meets Papyri and Sirius. That's why Papyri is a really, really major character. Because Papyri and Sirius are the only Seldons you meet in Volume 1. Whereas all the other Seldons you meet in the beginning of Volume 2. The Lithia chapter, you meet all those guys in Volume 2. So Lithia, Mary, Bell, Job, Cornelius, Eli, all those guys you meet in the beginning of Volume 2. Obviously. So my wife, VJ, and like Ariana Grande and Nina Manette and all the other Seldons, like Andy Serkis and all them, they won't be filming until like 3 months later. So for the first few months, they're going to be watching production pretty much, obviously. And the moment, look, man, the moment production starts, you get your check, obviously, because they didn't get paid for 2 years. Pay them the check, even though they're not working for 3 months. You still got to pay them the check. All I ask is that during the 3 months, it doesn't hurt to go over your lines. I don't pay you for nothing. Go over your lines. You can watch production. I'll tell the actors, look, man, if you're not filming, if you're not filming for 3 months, I don't mind if you watch production, but dedicate a good couple hours every day and take your what? Practice your lines. I don't pay you for nothing, obviously. Even though I didn't get paid for 2 years, and then after 3 months, Volume 2 starts, and that's when you see all the Seldons. And it's Peter Jackson, the assistant director, going to have to prepare themselves mentally for all those scenes, obviously. And I'll help them out too. If I see Peter Jackson is a little bit lost, I can help him out, obviously. But he won't need help because he's a talented director, and I gave him 3 years to prep, hence he will be prepped, obviously. But I might throw in some ideas and help him out sometimes, obviously. I might even help Peter Jackson. What I'll do is every time when Peter Jackson goes to his hotel room and takes his notes as assistant director, I can go over his notes and I can give him some help, give him some good ideas. And maybe you should do this. I can do that with him. I can go over all his notes with him. I'll do that. Hey Peter, I'll go over all the notes with you, and I can help you out and give you some ideas if you want. Considering Xanax is my baby, I know what's best for my story. I can give Peter Jackson some tips, obviously, some little tips, obviously. But at the end of the day, I'm giving Peter Jackson. Look, man, I'm giving you creative control. I'm giving you creative power, obviously, and producing power. But as long as if he doesn't co-write it with me, I will never give him full creative power. He has to co-write it with me and do the concept with me. That way we know the story inside and out. Okay, this is what I want to happen. Young Tactius. Tactius is a kid. He lives in Xanth. He's trained in Xanth. He's never been outside the walls. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell Peter Jackson, okay, for young Tactius, I'm thinking something like Young Messiah. You know, for all you guys who haven't seen the movie Young Messiah, I recommend you go watch that movie. It's a young Jesus movie. I'm thinking of something like that for young Tactius. He's an innocent kid. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't know about the Devil Wolf King. I don't want to spoil the story for you. He's never been outside the walls. You know what I'm saying? You get that young Jesus Messiah vibe, obviously. And later on, he's older and he's arrogant and cocky. He leaves the walls. And that's when the journey kicks off. And Cassius and Tacitonius and his 50 men go and look for him, obviously. And that's when the journey kicks off. And that's when Tactius meets Papyri and Sirius in Cyrus. Obviously. And when Tactius arrives to the south, he's shocked. Oh my god, like the south is nothing like the north. Yeah, he sees like cursed wild stags. You know what I'm saying? Because the south is not like the north. Yeah, the south is cursed, the north is holy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's why we're looking at an amazing story, man. Because I'm a fucking creative genius. And that's why me and Peter Jackson, my wife, and on 2 studios are going to have a blast, man. During filming. It looks to be crazy, man. We're going to have a fucking blast filming all that. It looks to be crazy, man. We're going to have a blast, man. Filming all that. Yeah, that's why. Because I paid Peter Jackson his $10 million, and I'm spoiling him with a limo driver and his buffet every day, John Howe, Ali, and all them, and the photographers and all them. The commercials for the ads, the ad commercials. He's featured on the ad shows with me. Billboard in front of my office, my website as well as around. I'm gonna put a few billboards around Vancouver. He's gonna work hard for me, obviously, because he's doing pretty slack work. The only hard work will be like writing a script, because writing a script is a lot of work, obviously. A lot of work. It's bus 1 and 2 is writing a script. But even then, we're still gonna have a pretty fun time as those documents filming us. And the constant hours of Slack, we just sit down and tell them ideas for hours, for a couple hours. It's Slack. Every time he goes to his hotel, he takes his notes from his assistant director. The high chance Guillermo del Toro will be hired. He'll be the chosen assistant director, and I'll pay him like $1 million to assist Peter Jackson. Because he did The Hobbit, he's probably the best man to assist Peter Jackson. Have him assist Peter Jackson. We'll see who's hired. You never know, obviously. We'll see who's hired, obviously. You see what I'm saying here? Even these Hollywood actors, I guarantee you, all you Hollywood actors chosen for Xanax, obviously. You know, and you guys are probably okay. Let's see how good Ivan's Last of Xanax story really is. Let's see if Ivan's book is really. Let's see how good Ivan's book really is. You guys are all going to be, all you actors chosen for Xanax. You guys are all okay. Well, as soon as I release my book for purchase on Lulu, obviously, you guys buy the ebook or print. High chance a lot of them will buy the ebook because they don't want to wait. Yeah, I don't want to wait. I'd rather just buy it and read it on my laptop. Obviously, you guys are going to buy the ebook, read it on your laptop. You're going to order the print. Obviously, you're going to read my book. You're going to be okay. You're going to see the title, Last Hope for Zane. It's written by Ivan Omer, edited by my younger brother. My younger brother is my editor, right? Edited by my younger brother, obviously. You're gonna read the book. Okay, let's see how good this book really is. You know what I'm saying? Let's see if this book is this book is really better than J.R.R. Tolkien, The God Fascist, or The Rings. I'm saying even Peter Jackson will be okay. Let's see if Ivan's overcome. Let's see if Ivan's book is really better than J.R.R. Tolkien's or The Rings. Let's see if this story will be better than my movie. My Lord of the Rings movie. Okay, you guys read the prologue. Okay, the prologue's pretty good. Prologue's pretty good. It kept me hooked enough. The prologue kept me hooked enough. I'm gonna keep reading. You know what I'm saying, and you start reading Young Takis. Young Takis is pretty good. And the moment you get to 22 years later, chapter 2, when Takis is older, you guys are gonna be like, "Holy shit, this book is interesting. This book is amazing." Yeah, and you keep reading it, and it's so interesting. You guys are gonna order your takeout, obviously. You actors chosen for Zayas, obviously. You're gonna keep reading, and by the time you finish reading 22 years later, you're gonna be so hooked you might even finish volume 1 the first day. You might binge the whole volume one day because you're looking at a masterpiece I wrote, man. You're going to keep turning the page because I have the gift. I know how to control your mind and keep you hooked, man, because I'm a creative genius, man. You keep reading the book, you know what I'm saying? You read volume 2. Volume 2 is even more interesting with Lithia and all of them. Oh my God, this is fucking sick, you know what I'm saying? And you get to volume 3, the plot twist, you're like, holy shit. You're shocked, like, holy shit, this book is interesting. And you get to the end of the story, walking on the ashes of warrior, and once you finally finish the book, it's finally gonna dawn on you. You're gonna be like, holy shit, Ivan wrote a masterpiece. You're gonna start picturing the characters in your mind, obviously, picturing all the scenes. You're like, holy shit, if Ivan adapts to the big screen and puts Iron Man on Monday, you're looking at the best story told in the most picture. Yes, you're looking at a story even better than Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, better than J.R.R. Tolkien's novel. Yeah, man. All you book nerds on Lord of the Rings Reddit, Fantasy Reddit, you know what I'm saying? I tune into that blog sometimes. All you guys, once you read my book, you're going to be shocked. And you're going to be like, holy shit. Once you finish the book, it's going to dawn on you. Holy shit. Ivan wrote a masterpiece even better than Lord of the Rings, J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. Yeah, man. Ivan kept me a lot more hooked on J.R.R. Tolkien. His world building may not be as good as Lord of the Rings, but his story's better than Lord of the Rings. Ivan O'Meara kept me a lot more hooked than J.R.R. Tolkien. Yeah, because I'm a fucking genius. I'm a creative genius, obviously. I'm a fucking creative genius. You guys think I'm crazy now, but once you read my book, you'll finally see what I mean. When you read my book, you're going to be laughing. You're going to be hooked. The characters, especially the character of Job. Job is a very, very interesting character in what? Job is a very, very unique character in what? In Last of Us Angels. I guarantee you a lot of people's favorite character will be Job. Because Job is a very interesting character. When you read the book, you see what I mean? He's a pothead. He's not too bright. You know what I'm saying? You're looking at something crazy. Yeah. And it's finally like, oh my God, the actors Ivan chose are perfect. Yeah. Andy Serkis is perfect for playing Job. I saw him play Gollum and all stuff, voice Gollum and all stuff. Yeah, he's perfect for Job. I chose the perfect actors, man. The perfect fucking actors. Yeah, man. Job was a pothead. Job the pothead, obviously, right? Mary is a bigger lady. You know, so Danielle Monette, she's perfect for Mary. Ariana Grande is perfect for Belle. Belle's weird. Lithia's a sweetheart. My wife's perfect for Lithia, obviously. I'm perfect for Tactius. You know what I'm saying? John Boyega's perfect for Tacitus. Tacitus is very sarcastic. He cracks jokes all the time. You know what I'm saying? Cassius is a noble leader. The general. Digimon Sue, perfect for Cassius, obviously. Perfect for my father. Look, man, I showed you guys that picture. I remember that picture I showed you in what my Xanax World would look like, that video I made? Remember that picture I showed of Idris Elba? I think you guys now understand why he's perfect for my father. Yeah, oh my god, he's perfect for Idris Elba. Yeah, he even kind of looks like me. He's perfect for my father. The actor for Queen Sarah, who was in Black Panther, right? Right? T'Challa's mother, right? In Black Panther, she's perfect for my mother. Yeah, I chose the perfect actors. I know what I'm doing. The actor for Meramis, Don Cheadle, he's perfect for Meramis. I chose the perfect actors. Yeah, once you remember, oh my god, I can picture all the characters I even chose. I can picture them as these characters. Yeah, I chose the perfect actors, man. I know what I'm doing, man. I strategically picked the perfect actors for my movie, man. Because I'm a fucking creative genius, man. You see what I'm saying here? Hence why, even though the actors chosen for the Great Escape movie like Keanu Reeves, Scarlett Johansson, Ben Affleck, Paul, even though those guys are lucky, and I'm saying Great Escape will have crazy buzz. Cage of Appa, they're unique. I'm saying Will Smith. You know what I'm saying? Mark Wahlberg. I might not choose Dwayne Johnson. I'm not saying there's a high chance Will Smith and Mark Wahlberg are the chosen actors for the Him Vat movie. But I'm not. It's not guaranteed I'm going to choose Dwayne Johnson. I might hire a big woman actor for that movie because you need to give the woman actor a chance too. Obviously, I might hire a big woman actor instead of hiring Jane Johnson for that movie. But we'll see what happens. Obviously, I don't know. I don't have those guys chosen. I'm just throwing out names. The only actors that are guaranteed chosen are the actors for Zanis, Paul Bettany, the other guy from Country Road Man, and Cage of Appa. Those are my only actors who I have guaranteed chosen. With everyone else, it's not guaranteed I'm going to cast those guys. I might cast someone else. But I'm just saying there's a high chance I might choose those guys. You see what I'm saying here? Even though all the actors from my other 4 movies are lucky, they're not as lucky as the actors for Zanis. As Zanis' unique story, you have the world of the North, the South. You have all these devils like Eretef, Fully, Thesis, Morale. Imagine an army of demon wolves, man, going to war. You know what I'm saying? Brave men going to war against these devils, man. It looks something crazy, man. The Curse of Answer to the South. The demon bat armies in the ancient Gileas caverns, like Moria. Yeah, man. Look at something amazing. Yeah, man. Obviously, Tactius is cocky and confident in Volume 1 and in the beginning of the movie, as well as halfway through the movie. He looks down on Saladin, obviously, and later on he becomes more mature, and he grows in wisdom, obviously, and he grows his beard. Ivan, why does he grow his beard? I don't want to spoil the story for you. You'll see what I mean when you read the book, obviously. I don't want to spoil the story for you. That's why I look at an amazing story. I wrote a masterpiece, man. You guys think I'm crazy, but once you read my book, you'll finally see what I mean. You're gonna be like, holy shit. Once VJ reads my book, once VJ reads my Last of Zane's book, she's gonna read it. Even VJ will be like, hey, Ivan is so cocky. Let's see how good my husband's book is, obviously. And then VJ buys the ebook. You know what I'm saying? She purchased the ebook, obviously, for $22. She reads it. Oh, the plot's pretty good. She reads Young Tax. Young Tax is pretty interesting. And then once you get to chapter 2, 22 years later, the story kicks in and it gets really interesting. You know what I'm saying? When Tax is leaving the walls, he meets Papyri and Sirius, and all of a sudden you're hooked. Before you know it, you finish Volume 1. The next day you read Volume 2. Volume 2 is even better. It gets interesting, obviously. Then you read Volume 3, and you're like, and it's finally gonna dawn you. Like, and once you hit the end of the story, it's gonna dawn you. You're like, holy shit, Ivan wrote a masterpiece. When I meet her in Los Angeles, she's like, Ivan, you wrote this book? I'm like, yeah, I wrote it. She's like, Ivan, you lying to me? You know what I'm saying? You had help. I know, but I didn't have help. I wrote it myself. Ivan, you wrote this book with no help? I'm like, yeah, man, I wrote this book with no help. She's like, oh my god, Ivan, this is the best fantasy novel ever written. Yeah, man, it's the best fantasy novel ever written, man. Best fantasy novel ever written, yeah. All you book nerds on YouTube, all you YouTube book nerds, Lord of the Rings, right? You guys are all going to be shocked on my Last of Zane's book. It's finally going to dawn you, yeah, I can't see any fantasy novel. I can't see any fantasy author coming off the better story than Last of Zanis. Because Last of Zanis is a masterpiece. Yeah, man. It's a masterpiece that I wrote. Better than even J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. I'm going to keep saying this. I'm going to give you a heads up. J.R.R. Tolkien has better world building in my book, obviously. Nothing can top the world building. But Last of Zanis has a better story. So I'm saying, nothing can top J.R.R. Tolkien's world building. It's too deep. It's too in-depth. But my story is better. My story is better than the Lord of the Rings story. Even Peter Jackson, but yeah, I read your book. Your story is better than J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. Yeah, J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings book, no offense, is a little dry and boring. I was like, guarantee you, even Peter Jackson, yeah, even though J.R.R. Tolkien is a legend, he's a genius, he wrote a masterpiece, obviously, his book can get a bit boring. Yeah, his book can get a bit boring, and it's very, very tough to follow the story because he has so much things going on in the story. That's why Peter Jackson had to cut out so many things, because it's very tough to follow a story like Lord of the Rings You have to cut out a lot of things because there's so much stuff going on in every page. Whereas Last of Us is easier. But yeah, Ivan, your story is so much easier to follow than J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings is a drag to follow. Yeah, and it's dry and it's a little boring. I guarantee you, Peter Jackson. But yeah, even though J.R.R. Tolkien's is a mastermind genius, he wrote a masterpiece. His books can be a bit boring. Yeah, his books can get a little dry and get a bit boring. You see what I'm saying here? That's my point, obviously. But even though I find Lord of the Rings a bit dry and boring, it's still an interesting book. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though, yeah, I guarantee you Lord of the Rings fans know what I'm talking about. Even though Lord of the Rings is a little boring and dry in some areas, when you read the book and you start to appreciate the world building and the in depth, the in depth world building that J.R.R. Tolkien created, it's still a masterpiece. You can't deny the masterpiece that he wrote, obviously. But I'm just saying, I'm just giving you a heads up. It's a little dry and a little boring. All you guys who read Lord of the Rings will see what I mean. The book can get a little dry and get a little boring, especially Fellowship of the Ring. The first half of Fellowship of the Ring is just Frodo, Sam, and Pippin, all of them, walking, talking, camping, and meeting people along the way. The Council of Elrond's even boring. It's not until you get to the Ring itself that it starts to get more interesting. Whereas my book, from the beginning, Volume 1, all the way to the end of Volume 3, you're going to be hooked. I'm going to keep you hooked enough to get through the whole book, man. You're going to binge the book, man. You're going to be like, holy shit, this is an amazing story. This is a masterpiece, yeah. This is a masterpiece that I even wrote, yeah, man. And Visual will be like, yeah, Ivan, I see I finally see your point now. I read your book. You wrote a masterpiece. If you put $980 million towards this movie, towards this adaptation, you're looking at the best story we told most picture. Yeah, you're looking at the best story. I have Eric Tarbeat the Devil himself. You're looking at the best story ever told the most picture. Yeah, man. You're looking at a masterpiece that I wrote, man. I didn't write some shitty book to make money. No, as I'm not just about the money. I'm all about the art. I poured my blood, sweat, and tears into this book, and I wrote a masterpiece. I wrote a fucking masterpiece, man. It took me like 10 years to finish, man. 10 years to finish my book, man. I wrote a masterpiece, man. A fucking masterpiece. Shut my camera off here.